Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 4, Episode 3, Drone Highway, Should You Buy DJI Drones? Hope everyone is doing well this evening. We've got a first tonight. Tonight, I simulcast to Build a Drone Reviewer Limited Edition channel, and we are also doing something brand new for the first time. We are simulcasting to Twitter via Periscope tonight. So, those of you on Build a Drone on Twitter, welcome as well. Just trying something new, something different. Stephen Ewing's here tonight, John Olson, Matt Cundiff, Thomas Baker, Michael Wright, Dumbtube, Marcel, and Johnny Drone Flyer. Welcome everyone. Glad you're here. Glad you're joining us tonight. There's not a lot going on right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It took me a while to come up with enough to get about a half hour, 45 minutes of a show together tonight. So kind of bear with me here a little bit. Got several things here. First of all, I found out the other day, it was Sunday. My youngest son has COVID-19. He tested positive. He works in food service at an assisted living facility up in Ohio. So he has very mild symptoms right now. I ordered a lot of supplements for him, vitamin zinc and Q-certain and vitamin C and just a bunch of stuff. So he'll be fine. I think he's doing fine. I'm checking in with him every day. He has to quarantine. He lives with my older son, and they share an apartment. So he has a mini fridge coming tomorrow. So he's pretty much going to be just camping out in his room for a couple of weeks. So if you could keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's 26, and the younger you are, the better it is regarding this. So if you could keep him in mind, I would really appreciate that. It's just coming on the heels of his grandfather. His last grandparent just passed away last weekend, and it's been a rough couple of weeks, and he's got to ride this out. He's probably in day 2 or day 3 of his quarantine. So, and my older son went to get tested, and he doesn't know his results yet. So, I'm hopeful he doesn't have it. He does have a tendency to get asthma. So if you could say a prayer for him, for both my sons as well. So I'd greatly appreciate that. Let's see who else is here. I think John also. Frank Walker's here as well too. Like I said, don't have a great deal to talk about. We had actually more last week. CES happened, and we all know the big surprise, or the big lack of surprise from CES, was no DJI there this year. And we went over that and we talked about that last week. And kind of doesn't surprise me, but in a way it does, because they've never really been big. Well, what was it? Not last year, but the year before. Right before CES, they announced the smart controller, and they didn't do it at CES. It was one of those soft launches on the web, and got it out there. And it kind of permeated. It was their thing to talk about, and at CES that year. One of the years, one of the Osmo gimbals came out right before then, and I know you were able to rent one or get one on loan to use while you were walking around CES that year. So, it kind of didn't surprise me that they were doing that. Just that's kind of just one of those things right there. Hang on here. All right. Well, like I said, there's not a lot going on. Sony's AirPeak, okay, that was very interesting. And it's going to be real interesting to see where that falls in a price kind of a spectrum. I'm thinking you're going to look $15,000 to $20,000 easy for something like that, maybe even more. So be prepared. It's going to be spring sometime before I would anticipate seeing something like that. So stay tuned for that. That's what I'll have to say. One of the other things I want to talk about, and I had a couple of people ping me, the Xeno 2 Pro Plus. Okay, guess what? It has that doggone problem with the lens. Okay, that lens flare. You know, you think a manufacturer, knowing that a drone has an inherent defect, would take corrective action. They haven't. All right, because I've had a couple of people ping me this week and ask me about that, and I told them, I said, look, guys, I'm sorry, I got some. I can tell there's some trying to get. I don't know why I'm getting right in my glasses this week. I don't know why. So I apologize about that, guys. So, why didn't they take the time to source a new lens for Xeno 2 Pro Plus and put it in there? I mean, really, they're going to beef up a few things. And see, Hobson likes to do these. They like to tweak things just a little bit. DeMarco, welcome. Glad you're here tonight. Patrick, welcome. They like to tweak things just a little bit, okay? So they can say they have a brand new drone to offer everybody, maybe better runtime, or a communications protocol is a little better, or they've added some features via software, and then they charge you another $150, $200 more. All right. And, but anyway, that issue is still there. And, it's like, okay, with Fimi, all right, the horizon tilt, that's there. All right. And for me, that's not an issue, but the signal interference is an issue. So there we go. Now, one of the things that I did find this week, which was real interesting, and actually found this today out on Drone DJ. How many of you guys heard of Skyfish? To be honest, I've never heard of them before. Okay. Well, they have two new drones coming out, the M4 and the M6. And it's really interesting. The M4 has four motors. The M6 has 6 motors. Okay. They both have dual batteries, have redundancy. Looks like they can carry a camera just like the Sony AirPeak. Doesn't that look familiar? Let's see what else it says down here. They also are going to use a custom controller that houses a Panasonic Toughbook with a 10-inch display right there. So that's what their controller looks like. There's no word on pricing, availability, when it's going to be ready, that kind of a thing. But it's very interesting to see this is coming out there. And these definitely look like these are retractable gear. I would say 100% they're retractable, because you're going to have a 360 field of view down there. So there's more to be seen on this, and that's coming down the pike. Ted Bowman, welcome. Glad you're here. Sam Burns, how are you, my friend? Big money, Sam Burns. All right. So yeah, so this is coming from them. No other information on this whatsoever. I sourced this from Drone DJ. I looked on Drone XL, and there's a lot of articles about drones doing some rescues and so forth, but not a lot going on there. What I wanted to spend the bulk of the time talking about tonight is, China has had some issues, all right, with we've had some issues with China. Let me put it to you this way, and this is not going to get political, okay? I'm going to keep it off the political spectrum because I know that's a hot topic. But, there have been more than a number of inquiries about DJI, for example, and data privacy and passing data on, all right? And there's been a lot of the virus came from China. Okay, let's call that like it is. All right, it is COVID-19 came from China. All right, and In my opinion, China needs to pay for this, all right? Because it's been unleashed on the entire world, all right? But again, that's go where I'm going is this, okay? The United States imposed some sanctions on them, all right? Now, what I want to do is share a little bit of an article with you from Drone DJ here, okay? Now, it talked about U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that will fast-track Chinese drones being removed from U.S. agencies. The order will require all U.S. agencies using Chinese drones to prioritize removing them from service, okay? And almost all of them are DJI drones. Let's face that, okay? You're not going to find a lot of U.S. agencies using Fimi or Hubsan or maybe Autel, okay? But technically, I think they're considered China, even though their headquarters is here in the United States, okay? On Monday, the executive order signed by Trump means Chinese drones, mostly DJIs, will be removed from service and assessed to check for possible security risks that the U.S. government is saying will exist. For the most part, the news doesn't come as much a surprise as DJI was added to the U.S. entity list, which means DJI isn't able to access or transfer certain technologies from the U.S. Unless given permission. There are 76 other names on the list. Okay, now here's a quick summary of what it looks to be the main reasons. Facilitating the export of items by China that aid repressive regimes around the world. Human rights abuses in China through abusive genetic collection and analysis. High technology surveillance, most likely drones. Before the entity list, DJI received many comments surrounding its drones and the data they supposedly transmit. Voices in and around the U.S. have shared the DJI drones send data back to servers in China without providing any evidence, okay? From this point, they began looking, see if there are any issues. Bit of light after months of batterings when the U.S. Chamber of Commerce stated the ban on Chinese drones and therefore DJI wouldn't be a smart idea. The reason behind the comment is that it would cost U.S. companies a lot more compliance, resulting in broader supply chain being harmed. Okay. Said a lot right there, all right? Now, first, I think you probably remember when I had Brendan on, and they had just somebody else, an independent, I think it was a Big 8 accounting firm, had just done an audit, and it was the second one. They didn't find anything. Now, previously, several months before that, and I think Sally French, Drone Girl, reported there was another Big 8 accounting firm. I have Deloitte. I'm not sure exactly who. Same thing. They did another check. It was an independent third party, no affiliation with anybody. Did another one, and there was no data breaches there. Okay. So with that being said, all right, now there's a lot we don't know. All right. There's a lot that the three-letter agencies know that we don't know. And let's put it to you this way. Okay. China is not here. China does not have the United States' best interests at heart. All right. They're out. China is out for China. They're not out to help us in any way, shape, or form. All right. Could it have happened even through these audits? Yeah, it could. I mean, it always can happen. All right. One of the reasons, let me back up here for a second. All right. One of the reasons that people like buying Autel products is there's no geofencing on them. All right. So there's no restrictions. There's no warnings about taking off. None. You can fly anywhere. Of course, you're under, you got to pay attention to what the FAA says. So what can I say? All right. So, with that, all right, when they go out there and they're accusing it. Now, of course, data transfers from them. All right. A lot of times, data does go to them, but it's data that we choose to send to them. For example, log files, if we're having an issue with the drone, we'll send it to them. But what they're talking about is that the drone does it in real time. which is interesting. Now, you know, there's been 2 independent audits done and they haven't found it. Does that mean anything? Yeah. I mean, there's nothing there. They can't find anything there, but can it happen? Yeah, it can happen. Of course it can happen. But, and I've got to think that if they're pulling them from a lot of these agencies, especially the Army had them as well too, that's a real sensitive area. And, for example, I'll give you an example here. With my Fimi, I get that signal interference error. So, things can happen with technology like this. And, technology can be programmed to do a number of things. Now, why anybody would want flight data of Build a Drone Reviewer is known but to God, okay? Flying over my lake, how many hundreds of times have I flown over my lake, okay? Does the CCP know the dimensions of the lake behind me and probably the depth of it? Maybe. I don't know. I don't care. That's part of the reason. Okay. Now the other part of the reason is this, and I'm not going to get political here, but I want you guys to understand something. Okay. Billy Tompkins, welcome. Glad you're here tonight. Companies over in China, okay, part of their profits go to the CCP. Okay, that's just common knowledge. All right, that's just the way things are. So, when you buy drones, Chinese drones from a Chinese drone manufacturer, guess who gets part of that money? Okay, it's the CCP, and I won't even get into it. Okay, there's a lot of questions about human rights abuse, slave camps that they run, that kind of thing. I'm not going there, but know that when you buy these products, and let's face it, folks. Okay, you go to Walmart, 3/4 of their stuff is from China. All right, most stores, most stuff is from China. Okay. I mean, you can't escape it. But I think the big thing here is, they're talking about data, and there's data concerns, and these have been raised on more than one occasion by a number of different people. So, is there some validity to it? I mean, think about it. The Army had it, and they just said, no, we're done. And then the Agriculture Department, the Forest Service, and a number of other ones that used it, they just were done. And apparently they're going with Parrot. So they feel confident that they won't have any problems with that. And evidently that's why Parrot stopped making consumer drones, because they got a wonderful contract with the United States military and the United States government. So, I mean, that's good. That's good. Guys are talking about Apple Watches here. Okay. This ain't an Apple. This is a Samsung Gear. Samsung Gear 3, I think. Yeah, I got it last year for Christmas. My wife treats me so nice. Well, she got a Samsung it's called a Fit Watch. It's kind of like a fitness watch version of this. So, but yeah. So that's what's going on with what's going over in China right now. As far as DJI. So should you buy one? I mean, that's a personal decision. That's up to you. I can't tell you yes. I can't tell you no. But what I can say is you need to be aware of, when you buy products over in China, for example, have an understanding that, not all that money goes to that company. All right. Just have that understanding in the back of your head when that happens. So, and you may want to do some research on your own to find out what's going on with that. So, so what's going, 2021, we're here, we're approaching the third weekish in January, we're into this new year, virtual CES this year, probably all these other ones will be virtual again this year, new drones coming. We got that Fimi Mini, we're probably going to look at, we're probably going to get some real good looks at it probably within, I'm going to say end of February, beginning of March. We'll probably see some pictures of it and maybe some actual specs on it. You know, my guess is, you know, they'll probably get them out for testing maybe April-ish, May-ish. So my guess is you probably are not going to actually see that hit the shelves, when I say, so to speak, you know, places like Banggood, GearBest, that kind of thing, probably until May. That's just a wild guess off the top of my head right now. You know, that Sony, I'm going to say you're probably going to see that late spring. That's probably going to be an April kind of time frame. And that's going to be, you really got to pony up some serious coin for that. That's going to really, really, really cost you a lot of money. That's really going to do that. It's been weather here has been so up and down. It's not funny. You know, some days we're getting in the 70s and it's nice and it's comfortable. And other days it's like it barely cracks 50 degrees outside. It's chilly, it's windy and rainy. What can I say? Bill joined the Apple family. Ted, you know, I did have an iPad mini for several years, and I did have an iPhone for years. I think the last one was an Apple 5, maybe an Apple 6. Okay. And then I've been on Android since then. Samsung Galaxy Notes. They have been, these phones have just been awesome. You know, can fine tune it the way you want. So there you go as far as that's concerned. So yeah, we'll probably see, you know, as far as like a Mavic 3, that's probably not, you're probably not going to see anything along those lines until August at the earliest, I think. Now, Sam, that's a good point. You know, the goggles for DJI have just appeared out on the website, all right, which is real interesting because, you know, everybody thought that they were going to come out with the new FPV drone during CES, and crickets, nothing on that. So, but that's going to be, guys, that's going to be some serious money. Okay. That's not going to be cheap. You're not going to get that for a mini kind of money. Okay. You're going to be having to spend, not quite Mavic 2 money, but I think more than Mavic Air 2 money. I'm thinking you're going to spend at least $1,000 for that. That's just off the top of my head, as far as that's concerned. That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm at regarding that. So, but yeah, and I was kind of surprised that they didn't announce it. I thought that they would have announced it, but you know, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry that I didn't put any announcements out, and I'm sorry you haven't seen me posting in groups this week. There's a reason, okay? Apparently I was a bad boy out on Facebook, and I got my hand slapped. I have no idea what I did. I have no idea what I said. You know, I probably look cross-eyed, and boom, you know, they're trigger happy and doing stuff. So, and I'm banned from making any posts or comments to pages or groups until the 23rd. So that's coming up later this week. So that's why I didn't put, you know, I usually like to put this out and let everybody know the show's going to be at 8 o'clock tonight and what it's about. So I couldn't do it. And that's why I couldn't do it. And that's just, it frustrates the daylights out of me because I want to go out there and comment. And then I get this red mark that says, you didn't mean to do that now, did you? It almost literally says that, which is crazy. Ted, that's a great question. All right. I went to a different dentist today. All right. Here's the deal. Okay. He basically told me they're going to send me an estimate of the work that needs to be done. Let me put it to you this way. Okay. I could probably buy about 10 Mavic 2s with the amount of work that needs to be done on my mouth right now. All right. And the options aren't very good. I don't like what I'm hearing as far as that's concerned. It was a very thorough exam. You know, I'm in no immediate danger of anything. He gave me some antibiotics just to, just to take care of things, which is good, and some stuff for pain, which is good as well. But yeah, 2 years away from retirement, and I'm getting hit with this. Yeah, it's not a good thing. And, you know, one of the other things was this. I've had a couple of other, let's not call, I'll call them, for lack of a better word, those who like to leave nefarious comments. All right. Somebody said you should probably sell some of those drones behind you and spend that money on fixing your teeth. Okay. Well, to those persons that have said that, there's a reason that my teeth are like this. And I found this out today. The doctor confirmed to me that I have, for lack of a better term, it's called chronic dry mouth. Okay. There's some rinses that you can get to help that. At the point I'm at, the rinses won't even be negligible. Okay. All right. In helping me. So yeah. So it's not, there's just been nothing but a constant stream of news that has been coming my way that has not been good. Okay. My ex-father-in-law, who I really liked, he was a very good man, passing away. My son getting COVID-19, and now I get hit with this news today, and it was just like, and then it's a whole different world going in with COVID-19, into a dentist office. I've been to my doctor's office, and mask stays on the whole time because nobody's looking at my mouth. Well, here I am, looking at my mouth, and boom. Well, the nice thing was he's a good dentist. He's very thorough. He did a very, very good examination, but they're going to email me my estimate. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have financing available. Oh my gosh, I don't want to hear it. But hopefully we'll make I have some decisions to make coming up regarding that. So buckle your seatbelts, everybody. Wow. Yeah, I know. Fly Zone drone. Ian Jones. I don't know if you guys have seen him. Sometimes, sometimes he'll pop on, but most of the times he doesn't. He'll leave. He sends me emails. His business over in the UK is to make appliances. Like he makes dentures and implants and so forth. He said they're dirt cheap over there. I mean, he said he could get me stuff for almost practically free over there. Okay. For what it costs over here is just absolute insanity. I mean, it's just insanity. I mean, they're talking, $40K for an entire mouth, both upper and lowers. If I were to do something like that, I was just, but I'm gonna explore options. We'll see what's going on. So, I don't know. I don't know which way we're going to head with something like that. So, wow. This weekend, I am going to be on Johnny Drone Flyer and Ray Kelly's show. I think it's on Sunday. And Johnny, if you could stick the time in there, that'd be great. And I'll be able to post links after the 23rd. Hello. But I'm really looking forward to it. And Ray's down here in Florida now. So he has a get together coming up in March. Hopefully, if the weather cooperates and all that kind of good stuff, I'm gonna finally get a chance to meet Ray. That'd be a great experience. I know Ray recently met Dennis Lovelady. That's right, Dennis Lovelady from and lives in Georgia. Got a chance to meet up with him. So that'll be a good thing. Sunday at 3 p.m. Central. Thank you, Johnny. It's going to be Sunday at 3 p.m. Central. We'll get some links out so you guys can do it. We'll have a blast. Okay. Johnny and Ray are two great guys. We'll have a lot of fun. And Johnny, I'm going to have you and Ray on as well here. We'll get you guys on next week. on Build a Drone Reviewer. We'll have some fun. Okay, kick back, grab a nice cold beverage and some popcorn and have some fun. I mean, that's you got to do what you got to do as far as that's concerned. So, Remote Pilot 101. All right. I found out why I haven't been hearing a lot from my good friend Ron Brown lately. Ron has been studying for taking his Part 107 test. So Ron, we wish you all the best. Good luck. Let us know how you did. I'm sure you will do absolutely fine with that. And then, we received that news. There's something, this was one of the other things I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. Wow. Okay. I actually remembered one of the other things I had down here. I didn't write it down, but the recurrent exam, okay, it's going to be so much different now, okay? And that's going to happen. It's not going to be for about another year to 18 months before it does happen. But I saw a video by Jason Chappert from Remote Pilot 101, and he said what they're going to do is the FAA is going to allow organizations like Remote Pilot 101 and other ones that have these courses that they can actually administer a test, and they can kind of sort of do their own test, and it will be super easy, not cumbersome at all. Cost-wise, I'm not sure about any of that. Oh, Michael Wright, that's awesome. Okay. Yes, I would. I'm very hopeful of that, Michael. Very, very hopeful of that. So, that's going to be fantastic because, because the way it is right now, you still have to go to a testing center and take the test and all this. And I think from what I understand from Jason Chappert, and if I find that video, I'll drop it in the link in the description. You could do this online. I don't even think you need to leave your home to do this, which is really nice. I mean, to be able to do something like that, I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. I ordered that Part 107 study book through Drone Boss 2 days ago. Okay, Matt, that's probably a good book. You know who? What was I going to say? They're photographers. Tony, and I forget his last name. Tony and Chelsea Norman. I think that's their name. Okay. He had a really good study guide out there for Part 107. And one of the big tips I can tell you about Part 107, whether you're taking the recurrent or the your first exam with that, okay? Now, when you take the recurrent, you don't get, there are a lot of questions you don't get. Like there's no weather questions on there, okay? Which is fantastic because, it's you got to read those weather charts, and it's really interesting reading those weather charts. But whether you're taking the recurrent or whether you're taking your first Part 107 test, the one thing I can't emphasize enough is charts, charts, charts. They're going to ask a lot of questions about charts, all right? Study them ad nauseum. If you're using Remote Pilot 101, if you're using other study materials, and go through and practice. Practice these questions, especially I can't emphasize enough these charts because they really, is it practical in a real way? Yes, it is. So you have an idea of where you're at, I think what the FAA wants you to know in these instances, they want to know, for example, behind me, and it's not on any air map that I've seen, but I've had a number of planes fly overhead, Air Force planes. We have MacDill Air Force Base here in Tampa. Okay, I had some A-10 Warthogs that were probably no more than 300 or 400 feet up in the air, and you could pretty much read the tail numbers on them. Okay, that's how low they were. It gives you information like that, so where you're flying. Any obstacles that are there. I think that's what the FAA wants you to be familiar with. They want you to be familiar with the airspace that you're in, the class of the airspace. I mean, you know, it's important to know some of those things, you know. In the long term, you know, I even think for a redundancy test, I think, you know, it's still good to have some of those questions there. But I think having, you know, the used questions, I think, are probably the most valuable ones in there. And of course, I can tell you this, guys, there are just some crazy trick questions in there. There's at least 2 or 3. I can tell you, I shook my head when I was taking the test, and I knew I probably missed them. But they do that. They do that on purpose, and it's just watch the way the questions are worded. There are some that are very straightforward. There are some you got to watch how they're worded. I mean, that's basically what I can tell you. Yeah, Ted. Yeah, it is, Ted. It is great. Jason Shepard, he covers everything in this. That's why Remote Pilot 101 is golden, okay? I can't recommend it enough. Plus, once you buy it, it's yours for life. He does any updates to it, boom. You don't have to pay for it again. I mean, that you can't put a price tag on that. I think it's fantastic. I really do. I think it's a good resource. So if you guys haven't done it, it's still pricey. I mean, you know, what was nice was, you know, you can take it. I have a place now. The closest place is about 25 miles away from me, closest testing center. So, and they're almost all at these smaller airports. All right. Used to be over at the airport by where I work, but it's not. They don't have a testing center there anymore. So, but the closest one now is 25 miles away from me. So, but yeah. So yeah, that's coming up, and it's probably going to be 12 to 18 months before they do that with the recurrent. So, heavy on sectional charts. You got that, G boy 185. You got that. They hammer that in there. They really hammer that stuff. And after talking, I've talked to several private pilots, and what they tell me about the original exam, not the recurrent, they said really that is a large chunk of that comes from their written exam for their private pilot's license. I mean, really, it really does. It really does. You know, one of the other things that I think is, and this is something, and I'm going to kind of close with this. One of the other things that I found out, you guys know that I'm into ham radio, okay? Just being down in Florida, it's good to have. I thought it would be a good idea to have alternate means of communication because of the, you know, we have tropical storms down here all the time and hurricanes. One of the other things I did was, you know, I've dabbled and I've looked into aviation communications, all right? And there's some radios that you can purchase with air bands on them. And I would think, you know, it's interesting because you can hear a lot of not just, you know, commercial air traffic, but general aviation air traffic, and have an idea where some of these guys are and they're operating and things, you know, combined on where you're flying. And, you know, some of these radios are not that expensive. And, you know, you may want to look at getting a radio with an airband on it so you can kind of gear in and find, and you can find, like if you were a sectional chart, you know what frequencies that they're using. So, and you turn the squelch up and you can have an idea where planes are in relation to where you're flying at. So, you know, that's, I would always think that would probably be something that would be a pretty good idea. So, well, guys, that's all I got for tonight. I mean, it's just, this is where we're at right now. There's not a lot going on. I did not get a chance to get out and fly, you know, between, you know, with things going on with my mouth, you know, my ex-father-in-law passing away and having to deal with some things regarding that. And now, you know, now my son getting COVID, you know, it's been rather busy. So, have not been able to get out and do that, but I am going to get out and do that. I got to get the Mini out. I got to get the Air 2 out. Want to get some flights. I got to get them all out. I mean, really is where that's at. So, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. Look for me with Johnny and Ray this weekend on Sunday at 3 p.m. Central You know, I'll be sure once Ray and Johnny send me those links, we'll get them out there. And I think we'll get them on here, you know, kind of poke Johnny and Ray, tell them Build a Drone Reviewer wants them on next week. So we'll get those guys on. We'll have a lot of fun. Well, it'll just be a great time. So look forward to that. That's coming up this weekend. You know, what can I say? You know, it was amazing. I was able to find as much as I did to talk about tonight, guys. So, but that's where things are at. So before you go to bed, if you can say a little prayer for both of my sons tonight, my younger son who has COVID-19, my older son, hopefully pray he doesn't get it. And if he does it, it's mild, just like it is for my younger son. So I want to thank you guys due to the, due to the UK brevity deal in Northern Ireland being treated badly. It means you fly more, selling at 820. Oh my gosh, Stephen, that's horrific. That is just absolutely horrific. I feel so bad for you. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely, positively ridiculous. Well, I hope you and yours are doing well over there. You know, and for all of us, you know, COVID-19 is still a reality. You know, don't get me started about the vaccine. I don't want to talk about that right now because I'll go political, and we don't do politics on Build a Drone Reviewer. So, but anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. All right. Hopefully you've had some good weather so you can fly. Look forward to me this weekend being with Johnny and Ray, two great guys. We'll have a lot of fun, and we'll get them on here next week, and we'll continue the fun on Build a Drone Reviewer. Hopefully this experiment worked well on Periscope tonight on my Build a Drone Reviewer Twitter channel. So I'm anxious to see how that went. Anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. And remember, as always, it's a great day to fly, guys. Take care.